Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 10, which would actually be the season finale as well. We got our reunion next week, you guys. Is it just one part or is it two parts? Y'all will have to let me know. Happy Sunday to you all. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. And with no more further ado, the video, let's get to it, shall we? Now it's the next day at the lake house, and Monique and Chris are sitting around just talking about how they are actually grateful that Kevin was there. Because Kevin was so offensive that he forced everybody to actually be on Winter's side and maybe even like her. Is that possible? Winter said actually she's glad that Kevin came as well, because it was that last little bit of closure that she needed. You know, she hadn't seen him in some time, so this was the way to just sew it all up. Now they're gonna have IV therapy. You guys, I realize that I'm old and sometimes old school, so I just really want somebody to explain to me this IV therapy situation. Something about sticking something in my veins and it ain't coming from a doctor. I just, I have problem with it, but I hear so much about it. I've even seen it in the malls, and that's the other thing that has given me pause. Like, I'm getting IV at the mall while I'm shopping across the way from Macy's. Like, the whole thing to me is just, so just explain to me. I mean, it's rehydration. Why we just can't drink some water? Why we can't get a Gatorade or some Pedialyte or something? Y'all put me up on game. Let me know what that IV therapy be like. Monique says that this is a way for them to rehydrate because they've been drinking so much. Ashley was like, we shall still drink even with the IV therapy. So anyway, while they're doing this IV therapy, they're also playing a game. And we're always playing games, you guys. Some games we don't always take too kindly to. You know, DJ Funsize get talking about him cheating on Ashley back in the day. They've been together since they were very young, you know, on and off. You know how drama goes when you're young in love. But I guess when he was like 19, 20, he had cheated. I guess he thought that she knew this story. Going from her reaction, she did not know about this. And even though it's not really nothing to get mad about because that was a long time ago, I think she was more aggravated with the fact that you know, Quick kind of just seemed like he was like boastful about it and everything. And, you know, she was aggravated, but maybe more than she needed to be. But I think maybe, you know how sometimes your spouse just gets on your fucking nerves? Okay, I think that's just what that was. This motherfucker get on my goddamn nerves sometimes. You've been out with your spouse and they just be talking too much. You just be looking at them like, Charlie, it happens. It happens. And of course, while they're having this disagreement, you know, about whether or not she knew about it, and, you know, her get back as well, because she was just like, you do it to me, I'm gonna do it to you. All right. Everybody else is sitting by watching like, oh my goodness. Like, oh, we didn't ask anything about this. You know, they giving us all this tea on their own. So you know how it is. Sometimes you just be listening to your friends argue in front of you, and then you just be kind of like, you call your friend, the other friend couple that was there, you call them the next day, be like, girl, did you see how they was going on? And that shit was funny to me. Anyway, we are having a costume party to wrap up the lake house trip. And everybody is going to be becoming as famous couples in the music industry. Monique and Chris, they go as Little Kim and Biggie. She has on the Little Kim wear that Little Kim wore in Crush on You, one of the scenes. Remember when they were in blue, when they were acting like they were like kind of like the Wiz? She has that look. And Chris has Biggie's staple, just black t-shirt. I think he had a chain on, his black Lokes. Well, they're not Lokes out in New York, are they? But they, you know, the real black glasses. Fully into character, okay? And then we had Irena and Jamie. They're going as Beyonce and Jay-Z. So they're getting ready in their room. We hear some bumping around in Ashley and Funsize's room. And, you know, they were like, you know, are they getting busy in there? I guess with all this damn drinking they've been doing, they could be, but no, they're not, because Ashley is still aggravated about DJ Quick Silva. I just feel so weird calling him Quick, but anyway, she's irritated still with him. And she said that she was just really kind of joking on the fact that she got him back when he did what he did. They probably don't even really 100% remember the situation, but she just said that she just likes to get back at him. So when he says that he's done something to her, then she's like, yeah, well, I did it to you too. Okay. And might have did it to you first. But they've already told us that, you know, in their young relationship, there was a lot of like resentment and getting back at each other. So it's not really a surprise. That's why I was just like, okay, Ashley, I understand how you feel and everything, girl, but just, the nigga was just feeling himself a little too much. That happens sometimes. You have to get back to the room and be like, you need to stop talking so fucking much all the damn time. You're just always telling the damn business. Don't be having a story right and everything. You got me sit up here looking like I'm crazy and everything. Do you want me to look like I'm crazy all the time? Well, then stop talking. Don't be telling these people all our damn business. Every time I turn around, hear you over there cuddled up in somebody's corner telling them about our business. So you just got to let them know. So they're aggravated, but they're getting dressed for the party as well. They're going as Ike and Tina. Okay, so everybody goes to the little movie room. I assume that they're going to watch a movie, even though we don't watch the movie with them, but they all go to the little movie room and they're sitting there in the little theater seats. And in walks Tasha and her husband. They are Erykah Badu and Andre 3000. Okay, and then here come Winter pulling up the rear. I said, I thought Winter wasn't staying. I guess after Kevin, they was just like, girl, you can stay. Winter came as Yolanda Adams. I was just like, not Yolanda. She said you can't go wrong with Yolanda. While they're sitting there, you know, they're just talking about their relationships with their spouses and whether or not they would do it again. Okay. And Chris starts off, well, I've been with Monique a long time. And even though she can be difficult and demanding sometimes, I wouldn't have it any other kind of way. I've never felt this way about anyone before, not even my high school sweetheart. Monique was like, don't do that. Okay, did nobody ask you about your high school sweetheart? Why would you bring her up in the middle of this? Like you're trying to compliment me. Do not compare me to somebody that did not make the cut. Okay. And I was like, that sounds like a trigger right there. And he was just like, no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying that I'm very happy in my marriage and I wouldn't have it any other kind of way. And I was just like, oh, Chris, you was doing so well too. You was almost on it. She was smiling, she was beaming, and as soon as she heard high school sweetheart, honey, that smile kind of went like this. Don't do that. I was just like, girl, you tried to keep that, but she was mad. So when it comes to Monique, she says that she feels like the marriage complicated things. I'm sure she didn't feel that way back then, but of course she feels that way now. She's just like, it just seems like they should have stayed spiritual partners and, just went on with their commitment that way instead of having this legal document. I said, girl, when it comes to Chris, I think you would want that document considering that he was a football player and well off and everything. You was just going to be a baby mama? I don't think so. But of course, hindsight, I guess in her case, the way she sees it is 2020. Maybe she wouldn't have done it the same way. Jamie and Irena say that they both have been together over 30 years. They both are the same people that they were 30 years ago. If anything, everything is just better. It's really nice when you can get to a point where you have been through all of the bullshit, because this is usually how it goes. You start off and everything is passionate and fun and a whole bunch and, it's just excitement and all of that. And then you settle down into the marriage and that's when the bullshit happens. And it be rocky and shit. You ain't sure if y'all gonna make it, It'd be all kind of stuff going on. But if you can make it through that storm and you guys are both willing to try to work it out, then when you come out on the other side of it, everybody is just happier. Okay, because it's just like, okay, we got through that. You know what? You pretty cool. We understand each other a little bit better. Shit might be a little boring, but you'll take boring and peaceful over just a whole bunch of drama. Like as you get older, I tell you guys this all the time, bitch. You just want some fucking peace in your life. So that's where Irena and Jamie are. And yes, of course, they would do it all over again. And when we get to Ashley and Quicksilver, she says that she feels like she took 20 years of her life and helped raise Quick. All right. He was not ready to be in love. He did not know how to love a person. That was not his upbringing. So she had to kind of teach him how to love somebody, how to be a husband, how to be a father. Okay. And that's all fine and good and everything. But that definitely does get tiresome, I would imagine, because this is a grown-ass man and you have really got to be patient with somebody when you're trying to teach them something that they really should have just a little bit of inkling about. But the way that they made it seem, he didn't really know. And I think that that's why Ashley now is in that mode where she's just like, okay, nigga, I done did what I needed to do for you. Now I'm fixing to do what I need to do for myself. Okay. And I mean, he admits that that's really what the case was, that he just was not in any kind of form. He knew when he met Ashley that he wanted to be with her because she always came with unconditional love. When he was growing up, everything was on condition. I love you if you can do A, B, and C for me. And that's not how Ashley was. And he said that the minute that, you know, he knew it, he told her, like, okay, I'm not really ready to get married yet, but you are definitely the one that's going to be my wife. So everybody talks about their relationship. We didn't get to Tasha and her husband. We didn't get what she said, and of course we didn't get Winter, who just happened to just kind of be around. I actually forgot that Winter was even there until afterwards, when Monique is talking about how much she loves the group and how they can just talk about their issues and still everybody be friends and happy at the end of the day. You know, when they took their picture, I saw Winter back there and I was like, oh yeah, Winter. So they've hashed out all the issues, and I guess the lake house trip was a success. Now when they get back into I was going to say Potomac. When they get back to DC or wherever everybody lives, child, I don't even know. But we see Monique and Chris. She says that she's just ready to spend some time with her kids. They are an animal family. They love animals. And so she's taking her kids to go horseback riding. She was saying how much she wants the kids to learn how to, you know, ride the horse and be around the horse and all of that. So they're there. Chris is there with her. And while the kids are, I guess, off with the horses, she sits down and talks to Chris. Oh boy, that night at the movie room, it was sure was something. And Monique says, yeah, you know, the responses were quite revealing. And Chris was like, well, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, when we were talking about, you know, doing it again, like if the chance for us to get married again would come up, you mean to tell me you wouldn't marry me again? And she just was like, I'm not really sure. I know I would have to see some changes. I said, changes in what? I mean, I guess she's knowing what she knows now. If they were to go back in time, then you would have to be different than how he was when they got together. I guess that's what she's saying. And then, of course, she brought up the whole situation with the high school sweetheart. She was like, I wish that you would think about the things that you would say before you just blurt it out, you know, and take into consideration that it might be hurtful to somebody. Okay. And he was just like, no, I mean, I wasn't meaning it that way. You know, he's just like, I was just saying, you know, I have never cared about anybody, even my high school sweetheart back in the day. I didn't have the feelings for her like I do for you. And she was like, you just did it again. And I just was laughing because I was like, okay. Although it can, again, those times when your spouse get on your fucking nerves, that could be one of the things. But it's apparent that this is a trigger for Monique, okay? I don't know if Chris does or doesn't know that, but I feel like she's like kind of making it seem like it's his problem when it's really her problem. Because first of all, he wasn't being mean, or he wasn't trying to be like, oh, my high school sweetheart. Now, damn it, let me tell you about my high school sweetheart. You know, he wasn't trying to pump up. He was saying like, and I cared about my high school sweetheart, but nothing on the magnitude of my wife. Yes, it can be a little annoying, but I feel like she should know Chris's heart, where he's coming from. Okay. That might annoy you and everything, but to this point, I think it's something that's a little bit deeper. You know, so when Monique is telling him, like, you know, it's very hurtful for me when you would say something like that. You know, you said that in front of everybody. You know, I just felt like it was always me. I have to prove something. I was just like, oh, there it is right there. You know, my whole life, I've always had to prove that I was better. I was just like, nobody is asking you to prove anything. Maybe back then in the day, but not anymore. You're established. You are a reality TV star. You got your husband. You got your 3 kids. You guys have a good life. It's just like, what more are you still trying to prove to everybody else? Yes, I know you've been through some traumatic times and it's all been played out for everybody to see on TV and everything. But at the end of the day, you don't have to prove anything to any of these people. One, you put yourself in the platform to be on a TV show where everybody is looking at your life in a fishbowl, okay? And either you can hang with it or not. You want it to be on the show, that means that everybody is watching. So, you know, that's one aspect of it. But the fact that you making it seem like it's Chris's problem when really it's you inside. You got to deal with the fact that you feel like you have to prove everything to everybody. To me, I thought she had already proved it, you know? So... It's funny when people try to act like what people say and do don't affect them, but it's obvious that it does, you know. So Monique, going on and on about Chris, and Chris is steadily over there. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. I'll come over here. He hugs her and everything. Like, I didn't. And I was just like, at some point, I know Chris is going to get tired of apologizing. Okay? It's one thing to be malicious in the way that you approach a spouse. And then it's another thing to just be like, okay, I didn't know and I won't do that anymore. But it just seems like every single thing that Chris does, Monique finds a way to pick at it. But this scene right here made me feel like maybe it's more Monique and not so much Chris. Chris was just like, it hurts me to see you crying. You know I love you, right? And she was just like, yeah, I know. Shit. Ooh, I don't know how Chris and Monique are going to fare, but... Now, next we see Irena and Jamie, and they're a little annoyed with Lil Jamie because he just came and told him that he has a court date the next day. Okay, the next day. I was like, that sounds like some shit my kids would do back when they was in school. Mom, I got a project that's due tomorrow. This motherfucking project got to be a full-on blown trifold board presentation with fucking PowerPoint points all over it, and you got to be printing out shit and drawing shit and gluing shit and all. And they tell you at 9 o'clock the night before, you be so fucking mad. You got to take off work the next day. You got to be like, what period do you have to fucking homework due? Then you got to make them stay out of school that whole morning until they go to fourth period. That's the class the shit is due in. And then you take them to school late. Oh, I don't miss them days at all. But anyway, this is actually more serious. He's going to court because he found himself in some trouble 2020. He caught a charge for weapons and narcotics. Not just one charge, 9 charges. And they're afraid that he might do some jail time. I said, that sounds like that might be jail time. 9 charges? What the fuck happened? So they're sitting there talking to him and telling him how to appeal to the judge. To tell him all of the positive things that you have done since 2020, because he hasn't been in trouble since he got that charge. I said, I would hope the fuck not. Shit. That's enough to be worried about. He need to go sit his ass down somewhere. They're feeling the weight of it. And I guess the charges that he faces, the minimum jail time is 5 years up to 25 years. So pretty serious charges. And Irena's very worried about her son going to jail. She said that her father was in the streets, stayed in the streets. Like, she knew who her father was and everything, but he wasn't really around because he was running out there hitting the block all the time. So she is worried that, some of that devilish nature has rubbed off onto little Jamie, and she's crying in the confessionals because that's obviously not what she wants. And on top of that, the daddy died in jail, so she never was able to have a relationship with her father the way that she would like to. She definitely doesn't want anything to happen to her son in jail either. So it's just, it's tenseful, it's stress. And so they go to court the next day, and then when they get there, the shit gets switched up. And when they sit down afterwards with the lawyer's like, okay, yeah, a little bit of a bump in the road there. Okay, I guess this was a regular criminal court, state, whatever charges, but they've pushed it up to federal court. And that doesn't sound too good, all right? We already know federal court, you get charged, like I said, you usually gonna do 95% of that time. So that's, when we looking at 5 to 25 years, like, ugh. They're definitely looking at mandatory jail time now. So he is definitely going to go to jail for some length of time. It's just a matter of how long. So I'm sure that gives everybody the bubble guts. And they've just got to start all over. They've got to get their new game plan, and I guess they're going to be going to federal court soon enough. But of course, that's if he's found guilty. If we can, if we can find him not guilty, or if maybe there's some lesser charges. I'm not sure how it all works, but yeah, that is pretty sad. Jamie says that he hopes that his son continues to stay on the right track. I hope so too. And then lastly, you guys, we see Ashley is having an event for her book. What is it? Get Shit Done? Is that the name of the book? And she's invited everybody out, including Winter. Okay, Winter was just like, it's a whole different ball game now. She's excited to be at the event. She first of all can't believe she's been invited, but everybody seems to be pretty cool now. She's looking forward to having a good time with the couples and all. She's there for it. We see Monique and Chris walk in, and Monique is still a little perturbed with Chris. Chris is like, she hasn't been talking too much, so I know that she's still mad. She stay mad, Chris. Ain't shit you could do. We see Jamie and Irena show up and they says they just going out to try to forget about the stressful day in court. All right, just go there, support Ashley, have a good time. Tasha and her husband show up there too as well. Tasha, every time I see her, she looks different. Does she have locks? Does she have braids? Does she wear a wig? I guess Tasha was like, she is a woman of many looks because she changes all the hair. So I thought that those locks was like in her head, but like today she has a cute like Chinese bob. So yeah. Ashley comes out with Fun Size and she's excited. She's celebrating the book. You know, it's a festive occasion. Everybody feels the festive vibes. All of her friends, all of her family, close family and friends are there and she is pumped about it. You know, the group is all standing around talking and she was just saying how it's even good to see Winter there, you know, and, you know, we really can maybe be friends. You know, I think maybe we can be friends. Okay, we not quite ready to say friends. We just gonna say friends. Okay, they gonna be friends next year because everybody gonna be sick of that goddamn Monique next season. Watch if they get a second season. I'm sure that they will, but they haven't so far, I don't think, anyway. Now we see Fun Size and he says that he has a surprise. You know, he's told the fellas and he's hoping that they ain't said nothing. He's, you know, that damn Jamie, big mouth ass, he tell his wife everything. But you don't have to worry about Jamie and Irena because all this festive feeling all around them has got them. What, you know what, Irena's ready to fuck. I said in the middle of the book signing, the middle of the book celebration, you want to, I mean, I guess, Jamie, you better go on in that bathroom and do it because you better get it while you can. Shit, you know, she ain't never feeling like this. So they go and saunter off to the bathroom. And then I guess when they finish and they come on back out, we have a toast to Ashley and her book. Monique says that Ashley is just coming into herself as a woman. This is another facet of Ashley that we are getting in this book. And Ashley says she doesn't want to be anything else but Ashley. Not mom, not wife, just Ashley. So she gets up on the stage and she introduces herself and her book to everybody there. And she tells them that it's a book of rediscovering themselves. And then she reads a little excerpt from it, you know, talking about being the best version of yourself. Instead of dreaming about being it, don't talk about it, be about it. Okay, it's time to do that shit. And of course, Quick is so proud of his wife. You know, he gets up there like, give it up for Ash. Okay, all right, Ashley in this book. And so now Quick was saying that, you know, he starts off the little speech that he's given, like, we have been together for 13 years. And he has a surprise for Ashley. She already know what it is. She taking off of her ring. She getting her ring. And she getting herself together. And it's like, let Fun Size give his speech. So he is actually there. The surprise is he's going to do a redo of their marriage proposal because I guess the last one was lacking. Okay, it left her wanting more. So this time, you know, now that you got the money and everything, we're gonna do it a little different. In front of all of her closest friends and family. Quick gets down on his knees and was just like, you're the most amazing wife. And, you know, it's been good times and bad times, but you've always been there. It's the unconditional love for him. And will you please continue to be my wife? And, of course, she's like, yes. And he puts the ring on and she's happy. I love a ring, child. I wanted to see it close up. I was hoping that they put it in the camera, but they didn't. I guess that would be tacky. And then we hear Tank over there singing, some song, child. I meant to actually try to memorize it, but I forgot. Let me just look it up real fast. I tried to look it up. I can't find it, and it's hot in this car. So we got our regular Tank rendition of whatever, something about will you wear my ring, or some, you know, some sort of marriage song. Is, you know, your classic Tank over here with his head bobbing and all of that. That make you sing better, you know, you do your head like this. Oh. And so everybody is impressed, you know. Fun Size made it beautiful. The proposal. Even Winter said it's so nice to see everybody so peaceful within the group. Kevin is completely out of the picture, so it feels like this is a rebirth of sorts, that this is the beginning of something new for Winter. Will she have a love interest next season? We see Quick and Ashley loving on each other. You know, he gives another toast to Ashley, the author. Monique is so proud of what she's been able to put together. She said that they were just kind of like socially friends before, but now they have totally become a family, that they can sit down, they can talk, and still remain friends at the end of the day. Both the ladies and the men and the group together. Okay. And Ashley says the ring that Quick gave her does feel like a new beginning for her as well. That this is a new chapter in their marriage. And that, you guys, would close out season 1 of Love and Marriage DC. How did you guys feel about it? We'll see how things go at the reunion. Judging from the questions that Carlos is asking them, you know, in the previews that we saw, it should be pretty spicy. So we'll be looking forward to that. But as of now, it's a wrap on season 1. All right, you guys, let me get on off of here, go get this edited, and up to you. I'm feeling so good about being on schedule now that I ain't got all these damn shows on the weekend. Feeling good about it. Anyway, you guys, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars.